Hello YouTube, I am here back discussing Traitors, which just started up last week, and last night we got episode 4. I wasn't able to cover the first 3 episodes last week, but I could not talk about Traitors, so here I am. Truthfully, I don't think there was very much to discuss in those first 3 episodes, so I'll mostly focus on episode 4. Let's just jump right into it. I've got my headband on in honor of Parvati. She kind of got me on my headband kick last year, so it feels appropriate for the Traitors. We have the 3 contenders for murder, and that was Jeremy, Sierra, and Nikki. They end up murdering Jeremy because Jeremy had Danielle's name in his mouth. And I know that's a controversial choice. I think that's what I would have done too. Sure, maybe it puts a target on Danielle, but Jeremy is very threatening. Take him out when you have the chance, especially if he's coming after you. Leave him in the game, he would have just kept rallying the troops to go after Danielle. If they left Jeremy in there, I bet it would have been Danielle's name being thrown around at that round table. And also, I'm just sick of all the Survivor people on this season. Like, Survivor's a show I like, and I'm familiar with everybody on the cast, really. But there's too many of them. Get them out. I was happy to see him go. I was happy to see Tony go. Let's keep getting rid of these gamers. They're boring. They're too bro. Ugh. Let me just preface this whole Traitors thoughts and say, I thought the twist of bringing in Rob, Wes, and Derek was awful. I hated every part of it. I hated bringing them into the cast. I hated who they chose. I hated bringing them in late. I just thought that was one of the worst reality TV twists I've ever seen. If they were going to be on the cast, bring them in the first place. It's just like they're giving them an unfair advantage. They're sucking up all the screen time. It's like, you haven't even been here that long. They're not Kate Chastain, who gets to come in late because she already earned her place on Traitors as a show. We're just propping up these guys when, honestly, they're not that big a deal. None of these 3 guys are that big a deal. We just saw Rob on Deal or No Deal Island, and sure, he did fine on there, but he's not that great. Like, we've seen him on TV before. We just saw Wes have an embarrassing outing on House of Villains. Ugh. And then Derek, he's just a coward, and he won't show up on any show unless he thinks he has some sort of advantage. Like, these guys are not all that. And why 3 guys? Why not a girl, at least? Why couldn't we bring in a housewife? Why couldn't we bring in a drag queen in that spot? It's just very male-centric, this Traitor season. It's infuriating. And that isn't helped by the fact that we lost so many housewives just to start off with. Like, we lost Dorinda, who would have been a major force on the season. And we also lost Ion, who didn't really know what she was doing, but she's comedic, she's entertaining. Now, it's been 2 guys who got banished up to this point, but we're just losing a lot of the female energy in this house, and they just added another dose of male energy. It's terrible. Ugh, I just hate all of them. I guess while I'm on my little rampage about how guys are so terrible, I'll also touch on another thing that I'm noticing in this show, and it is with the challenges, and these challenges are all favoring the guys. We're giving out all these shields, and the guys are just able to get them all because they're more physical, more athletic. And it's so frustrating, and constantly seeing these girls just left to do their own thing. It's really annoying. I'm sick of seeing these guys just be such losers. So gross. I don't like this male cast, really. A lot of duds. Which, if you want to see my full thoughts on the cast, I don't think anything's really changed too much from my preseason assessment on at least the people I was familiar with. My main issue with Traitors this season, too male-centric. And that's what kind of made last season so great, because they got a lot of the guys out quick. CT was the only guy there for the end of it. And that was very refreshing because we got to see these women just actually compete instead of having to deal with the guys pushing them down constantly. I don't know. I think Traitors is very flawed, and we're seeing that a lot this season. A lot was able to be pushed aside last season because they just got so lucky with that cast, but we're seeing it on full display with this weaker cast this season. You know what? And I got one more thing to say. Derek, I almost forgot about you because you're so irrelevant to me, but the way he speaks to the people in this castle, it's so gross, so disgusting. Pointing fingers at Sierra because she uses profanity, acting like you're above everybody else because you're a cop and you do this for a living. He just wants to be like all high and mighty. He wants to feel superior to these people. He wants to be that most faithful of the faithfuls, that guy everybody can trust. I'm not buying it. You are not a good person. And quit trying to act like you are. You are a selfish pig, and that's what you'll always be. You came on this show for money, just like everybody else. So don't. Nobody likes you that much. I guess the producers like you because they wanted to give you special treatment, but I don't think any of these fans really care about you that much. And I don't think he's one of the best Big Brother players ever. I think he got stuck with a weak cast. I don't think he did much himself. Sure, he did some stuff. Sure, he showed some strategy, but put him in a cast of people who actually know how to play the game, and he'd be screwed. So, Derek, you're not all that. You're a loser, and your time is coming soon. Bye. Okay, I got my little ramble out. So, yes, we got Jeremy banished. This episode was a lot of everybody framing Sierra and Nikki as potential traitors. We've seen Nikki get screen time because she's with the Bambis, but we haven't seen much of Sierra. So it was a bit of a shift to see them kind of shift into the focus. Sierra, I feel bad for her. I feel like she's going to be alone in this game until she's gone, but I hope she sticks around a while longer. I guess she's got Wes with her, but I don't know how long that's going to last because you can't trust that guy. And Nikki and the Bambis, they're fun, but they're not that exciting to me. I guess they're good strategists. They're a bit entertaining, but I don't care too much about any of those girls. Just coming into the season, like, I'm familiar with Nikki and I know those girls get around, but they're not as exciting as some of the other cast members are to me. So I'm just not that invested in them, but I appreciate their presence. See, it was a lot of back and forth between, is Sierra the traitor? Is Nikki the traitor? Are they both the traitors? We particularly got a lot of focus on Robin being loud and wrong, which is exactly what you'd expect from Robin. She never knows anything. She's always wrong about everything. She's loud about it.
Robin? Shut the up.
Robin, just so embarrassing. I can't believe we're stuck watching Robin on this show. I can't wait for her to go. I've been very entertained watching everybody be against Robin so far this season. I think she's handled herself well, at least. I think she's not having the greatest season, but I guess she's been entertaining at least, and that's more than we can say for a lot of Robin's time on TV. I don't think she's gonna last much longer on Traitors either. I think her time is coming soon. Now, we did have Gabby as everybody was returning to the table. She really has her instincts right. She's able to point out that she heard Danielle's voice in the bookcase room, but Danielle's able to wiggle her way out of that quite quickly, and Gabby lets go. But Gabby, she has good game instincts. I think she's one to watch out for if she's able to get some support behind her instead of just immediately giving up on her theories. I think she would be a real threat to the traitors. So our traitors are Danielle, Bob the Drag Queen, Carolyn, why, and Boston Rob. also why. The edit seems to really be trying to paint Danielle in a bad light, but it seems to me like she's got a lot of people fooled with her act. I know she's getting a lot of flack for not playing the best game, but I think she's doing all right. I'm not too worried about her leaving anytime soon. I think she'll be around for a minute. She might have to do a little damage control, but I have faith in Danielle because I know she's a good player. I don't know. I think Danielle's not playing as bad as the edit might have it seem. Carolyn, on the other hand, she's playing, well, I wouldn't say she's playing the best traitor game. I think the traitors picking has been so predictable that her being a traitor at all is not something that anybody on the cast would expect because, quite frankly, why is she even on the cast at all? I mean, she's not getting caught by anybody. Good for her. But I think she has a very easy path to the end as long as she just sits still and lets things happen. As long as she doesn't do too much, she's got an easy path to win. She gets a little credit for that, but I can't give her too much credit because she doesn't have the same target on her head like Danielle has. In being a traitor and making all those decisions, we've seen a lot of infighting this season. Particularly, they focused on Danielle and Carolyn's infighting, but that's taken a bit of a backseat with what's happened in episode 4. I think Danielle's a very vocal person, and I think she goes after what she wants. I think Carolyn just immediately caves, and then she goes and talks trash after she's already caved. I don't think she's some victim. If you really want to take some power, put your foot down and change things. You're a traitor too. You all have equal power. Don't cry about it. I don't know. She's just complaining too much for my liking. I think she does have some good instincts. I don't know. I think Danielle has made some good decisions as a traitor. Unpopular opinion maybe, but I do think some of her instincts have been pretty good. I think killing Jeremy was a great thing for Danielle, and Carolyn would have never done that because she's biased to the Survivor players. We saw her crying about it. I don't think Carolyn was upset because she thought it was a bad move. I think she was just upset because she didn't want Jeremy to die. But please, she's got the most wiggle room, so let everybody else go out in front of you. I don't know. She just irks my nerves. I don't know. Sorry, I don't like Carolyn. And the traitors infighting shifted from Carolyn and Danielle to Bob the Drag Queen and Boston Rob. Because after the challenge, which I'm just gonna skip right over, so annoying. Bob the Drag Queen says, yeah, isn't one of the 3 guys who came in late a traitor? And Boston Rob was not happy about that because that puts heat on Boston Rob. So what does Boston Rob do? He goes and turns the whole house against Bob the Drag Queen. I'm not happy with it. I think that was a very bad decision for Boston Rob to do. I think this reminds me very much of Dan turning on Phaedra. I think it was too soon. Maybe it worked out from now, but I think Boston Rob has a 0% chance of winning now. He had no reason to go that hard for it when this should have been a very easy banishment, Sierra or Nikki. And they could have gone after the other one, the next round table. Like, he had an easy thing, but this is Boston Rob. He's got a big ego. He wants to take control. So that's what he did. He shifted things so everything centered around him. He'll be in power, but that power will put a big target on his back and get him booted before too long. This is why he only won once, and it was against a weak cast. But now Bob the Drag Queen got banished in this episode. First traitor out. I was very sad about it. Very sad because Bob the Drag Queen is so entertaining. I loved the Bob-Danielle duo. They were so fun together. I'm very upset that Bob's out, but Bob did it to himself. Too vocal, did too much, and honestly, I think he could have shifted it onto Boston Rob at that table. I wish that Bob the Drag Queen said, you see, I said earlier, one of those 3 is a traitor, and what happens now? One of those 3 is targeting me. He's trying to shift blame onto me, but he didn't say that. Oh well. Sorry to see you go. But you got fooled by Boston Rob. Probably shouldn't have brought up his name in the first place unless you were prepared to handle that smoke. So after this banishment, we see a bit from a few people. Danielle is very upset. She had to vote out Bob. It was very tragic. You could just see the hurt in Bob's face. Oh, I hate to see that duo fall. But Danielle's gonna be on a warpath and she's gonna take Boston Rob down.
Fucking Boston Rob.
I can't wait to see it. I think Carolyn's on board with her. So despite those two having their issues, I think this is really going to be a bonding moment for them. Maybe I'll finally start to come around on Carolyn now that she's got a common enemy with Danielle. We know that Danielle's going to get robbed. It's just, when's it going to happen? I don't know if it's going to happen just yet. I've got a few theories. I think we see Wes starting to plot against Rob. Rob does have a few people in his corner. Like, he has Dylan Efron, and he's definitely the most faithful of the faithfuls this season. Very annoying. I don't like him at all. Why are you on this cast? Ugh. But I guess he's playing good, so whatever. Gotta have our bro guy as the main protagonist, or whatever. So annoying. I think that Wes is in trouble next episode. That's why we're starting to see him rising in screen time. I think Rob's gonna get one over on Wes before Rob goes. These people will definitely see the light with Rob sooner rather than later, but I think he'll be able to shift blame a little bit. If they murder the right person, and if Rob does some smooth talking, it's one of the three. They bring that back up. One of the three, they could easily shift it onto Wes. But I think hopefully Bob the Drag Queen saying that one of the three kind of puts a target on all three of them. We can just get them all out here in the next few episodes and get back on track with the season. Thank you. Now, there is always the chance they could circle back to like Nikki and Sierra. I don't really think so. I feel like maybe Nikki could be murdered, but I don't really see Nikki getting banished. Now, Sierra, there was a bit more smoke for her, so I could see things creeping back up on her. But I think she'll be around for a minute. I feel like she's just getting started. I would expect one of the Bambis to leave soon, and I feel like Chriselle and Gabby, they both seem like they'll be around for a minute. I think I am worried about Nikki, though. Now, the housewives that we still have left are Dolores and Robin. Dolores is definitely going to be the last housewife standing. Like, please. Robin, she's going to be gone in the next 2 episodes. Like, she's just not good at this game. She'll either just somehow end up getting banished, or she's just an easy murder at this point. Now that Bob the Drag Queen's out, they can just kind of just shift the housewife stuff onto him. But then it's like, okay, then what do we need the housewives for? I feel like she'd be an easy murder. She'd also be easy to frame as the traitor. Now there's the elephant in the room of Tom Sandoval, who definitely seems to be detoxing as we're watching the show. I think that he'll eventually get accused of being a traitor, but I think he's safe for a few episodes at least. It's inevitable that Tom takes the spotlight at some point. He's not just gonna be an easy murderer. I wish he was, but please, we all know he's gonna be easy to accuse. And I feel like we'll see like him versus Chriselle. Maybe they would murder Chriselle to like frame Tom. I don't know. I'll make some winner predictions. I think Carolyn has the best shot of the traitors. I wouldn't rule Danielle out though. She's not getting the best edit. Her edit kind of reminds me of the Parvati Traitors edit. But I could also see Danielle rebounding. I feel like with this Rob stuff, this is the start of that. I wouldn't put my money on Danielle winning, but I do feel like she will be around for a while. I trust that Danielle will be able to wiggle her way out of situations. And I see a lot of targets emerging in this house that I think she'll be able to hide behind. There's no way Boston Rob wins. He's marked himself as a clear target. So, sorry. I can't wait to see him leave. I think Brittany could very likely win. She's got the protection of Danielle. Nobody's really coming after her. She's likable. I think she'd be an easy murder target, but with Danielle as a traitor, I don't think she'll ever do that to Brittany. I could also see Brittany getting recruited as a traitor. I think she'd be a phenomenal traitor, and just imagine seeing her and Danielle working together as traitors. But I think either way, if she becomes a traitor or if she stays a faithful, I really do think Brittany could have a run at it. Now, I know Dylan's around as like the most faithful of the faithfuls. He'll eventually get murdered. And then, like, it's inevitable. We lost Bob the drag queen, but Bob Harper is still there. I think he's around. Nobody's too suspicious of him. The people like him there. I could see him winning as a faithful. I don't see him becoming a traitor, but I don't think he'd win as a traitor. I don't think he's got that instinct, but I think he's doing well as a faithful. I could see him winning. None of the Bambis are going to win. They're all going to fall at some point. That's just a big alliance waiting to be targeted. None of the three guys who came in late are going to win. Nobody's going to let that happen because they weren't there from the start. They'll always have that against them. I guess there's a chance Dolores could win. I don't think she's gonna. I do think she has some smarts, but I just see her getting murdered at some point, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. I don't really care. She's not that exciting. If any of the Bambis are gonna win, I would say Gabby is the most likely. I don't think it'll be Chriselle. I don't think it'll be Nikki. I'm not too sold on it being Gabby, but she could. I feel like poor Sierra is gonna get the target eventually. Just, there's too much. I feel like putting them in the caskets marked both Sierra and Nikki for death eventually. So their chances, very low. But I guess that leaves Lord Ivor and Sam. Lord Ivor's not winning. He's the worst. Sam's also the worst. I guess I could see him winning, but I don't want to put that into the universe, so I'm gonna say he's not gonna win. I will say my predictions for winners are Carolyn. I'd put her at the top, unfortunately. Then I'd say Brittany, Bob, Gabby. Those are my four. So that's all for this week of the Traitors. There will certainly be much more to say on the Traitors. I'm not sure if this will be an every week thing or what, but you'll hear from me before the end of the season, I'm sure. And leave some winner predictions or what you think is going to happen next episode down below. Let's discuss. Until next time, bye.